I caught my roommate secretly renting out my room on Airbnb while I was visiting my parents, and pretending I'd moved out. I left town for Christmas on a Tuesday morning. It wasn't a dramatic exit, just me, a carry-on suitcase, my laptop, and a pre-booked train ticket to spend 10 days at my parents' place 3 hours away. I told my roommate, Kelsey, a week in advance. She gave me a hug and said, "Enjoy the break, I'll keep the plants alive." We lived in a 2-bedroom apartment downtown, split rent evenly, utilities, everything. We weren't best friends, but we'd lived together for a year without major issues. She worked hybrid at a marketing agency. I was fully remote, freelance graphic design, mostly sitting at my desk in my room with headphones on. That room, my room, was small, but I kept it obsessively clean. Queen bed, white comforter, 2 pillows, glass desk, extra monitor. Neutral tones. Quiet corner of the apartment. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I got to my parents', unpacked, set up shop at their kitchen table, and fell into the rhythm of being semi-offline for a week. Work was slow. Clients had mostly logged off. I still checked in each morning, answered what I had to, then let myself relax. 3 days in, I opened Netflix on my laptop and saw a continue watching tab that wasn't mine. Some true crime docuseries I'd never heard of. Halfway through episode 4, I paused. The Netflix account was mine. My login. My plan. But it was usually only used on my laptop and the shared TV in the apartment, which Kelsey rarely touched. I pulled up device history. There it was. LG Smart TV, downtown apartment, December 27th, 2:19 a.m. Okay, whatever. Maybe she had friends over. Maybe her boyfriend stayed the night and wanted to watch murder shows. I didn't overthink it. Then I checked Instagram. And that's where it shifted. I wasn't following the girl. She came up through a tag post. Someone I barely knew had posted a selfie with her, and I clicked her username out of boredom. I was halfway through scrolling when I saw it. A mirror pic. Her in a towel. Standing in my bedroom. My wall. My desk. My mirror. You couldn't miss it. Caption said. Cutest little Airbnb ever. I read it again. Airbnb. I zoomed in. She'd moved the desk lamp to the left. Someone added a tray of rolled towels on the nightstand. The bed was made with my sheets. I checked the date. Posted the day before. I didn't like the post. Didn't comment. Just screenshotted it and stared. So now someone I didn't know was sleeping in my bed. Taking mirror selfies. In the apartment I still paid for. In the room where my stuff still sat. My clothes, my monitor, my tablet. And apparently, she thought she booked it through Airbnb. I called Kelsey. She didn't answer. I texted. Hey. Random. Is someone staying at the apartment right now? No reply. I waited 20 minutes. Then called again. Nothing. The next morning, I sent a longer text. Notice someone's posting from our place? Is something going on I should know about? Still no reply. So I called my landlord. We'd only met once. The lease was under both our names, but he was chill and responsive whenever stuff broke. I said I just wanted to check something. Asked if there were any temporary sublease approvals I didn't know about. He said no. He hadn't heard anything. No changes on file. No guest paperwork. Then I asked if he knew about anyone renting the apartment through Airbnb. Silence. Absolutely not. That would violate the lease. I packed my bag, got on the next train, and showed up at the apartment at 6:40 p.m. on a Thursday. I didn't tell Kelsey I was coming. I still had my keys. I opened the door quietly. The lights were off, but music was playing low from the speaker in the living room. I dropped my bag, walked down the hall, and opened my bedroom door. There was a man in my bed. Shirtless. Asleep. Face down. My pillow? My comforter. My monitor was unplugged and moved to the floor. My desk chair was missing. The closet was slightly open, and one of my bags had been moved. I stepped back into the hall, heart thudding. Hey, someone said. I turned. It was Kelsey. She was holding a takeout bag, wearing a hoodie, no makeup, barefoot. Oh my God, she said, like I was the one intruding. I didn't know you were coming back tonight. I asked who the man was. She mumbled something about just someone staying for a few days. I asked if he paid her. She said, "Look, it's really not that serious. It's just a little extra while you were gone. I thought maybe you were staying at your parents' longer." I asked how long she'd been doing it. She didn't answer. Just stood there. I didn't scream. Didn't cry. Didn't punch anything. I just walked past her, grabbed my backpack, and sat on the couch. Then I opened my laptop and searched Airbnb. I didn't sleep that night. I lay on the couch with the lights off, listening to that guy snore in my bed while Kelsey moved around the kitchen like nothing was wrong. No apology, no explanation, no attempt to talk. Just soft footsteps, a cabinet opening, fridge door, silverware clinking. I waited until she went to her room, then opened my laptop and searched. Airbnb downtown, our city, plus queen bed plus minimalist room. Second result down. I clicked it. Title: Charming downtown stay, entire unit, walk everywhere. Photos loaded. First image: wide angle of my bed, neatly made. Second: my desk, staged with a fake plant, laptop removed. Third: the hallway bathroom, which we both used, now described as private. Fourth: my closet door, partially closed, but you could still see the edge of one of my bags on the floor. She hadn't even cleaned. She posted 10 photos of my room from different angles. The listing said, "Relax in this sunny, peaceful unit located in the heart of downtown. One cozy bedroom with queen bed, private bath, workspace, Wi-Fi, and full kitchen access. Owner lives off-site. Self-check-in via lockbox. Owner lives off-site." She'd rewritten the story completely. I scrolled down to the reviews. The earliest was from late October, 8 weeks ago. Clean, cozy room. Host was responsive and helpful. Perfect for solo work trips. Loved having the space to myself. Felt like home. Will book again. There were 7 5-star reviews. I clicked one of the guest profiles. Found their Airbnb history. Looked real. Clicked another. Also legit. I cross-checked a couple names with old posts on Instagram. All real people. Real guests. All of them had stayed in my room. While I was gone on weekends. While I was pulling long days at the library. While I visited my sister. She'd been running a full-on side hustle behind my back. And making money off it. Hundreds of dollars. Per stay. I checked the calendar. The unit was booked every weekend for the next month. And there was a guest currently checked in, the guy I'd found snoring in my bed. Checkout was listed as Friday at 10 a.m. Today was Thursday. So she planned to keep him there overnight. While I was literally back. In the apartment. Sitting 10 feet away. I didn't confront her. Didn't storm into her room. I just saved the listing as a PDF. Screenshotted the guest calendar. Captured all 7 reviews with timestamps. Archived the page using a web capture tool. Then dug into her host profile. Username at Kelsey. City stay. Reviews, 22. Listing: downtown studio, clean and quiet. Status: superhost. Superhost. For renting out a bedroom she didn't own. That she didn't even tell me she was using. Then I opened our lease. Clause 14. Tenant shall not sublease or rent the premises or any portion thereof without prior written consent from landlord. Clause 16. Any violation of subleasing terms constitutes immediate breach and may result in termination. I kept reading. The penalties were clear, and she'd violated every one of them. Still, I didn't tell her anything. She came out of her room once, phone in hand, clearly seeing I hadn't left. Paused. Pretended to stretch. Asked, "You working from here today?" I didn't answer. Just looked up. She smiled like nothing had happened and walked back down the hall. Later that night, I saw her open the door and hand the guest something. Looked like a snack bag. Friendly smile. Whispered conversation. The kind of fake host energy Airbnb people force. Like she ran a little boutique hotel out of a 2-bedroom apartment with a shared bathroom. I opened Airbnb again. She had another listing. A second one. Urban nook near the metro, shared unit. Same layout. Same furniture. But the second listing said, shared 2-bedroom with another traveler. Room available Monday through Thursday. Great for budget travelers or weekday work stays. She was running 2 separate listings, toggling them on and off depending on whether I was gone for a full week or just the weekend. She made it look like she was co-hosting the unit with someone. In both cases, I wasn't mentioned. She just described me as another traveler when I was home. I found an old photo from last month. She'd taken a selfie in our kitchen. There was a duffel bag in the background, not hers, not mine. I zoomed in. It matched one from a guest's Instagram I found later that night. She'd used it in her own story caption. Downtown Airbnb dizzy. Different person. Same apartment. Same lie. I still didn't say a word. I cleaned my room while she was in the shower. Pulled all my clothes into a suitcase. Took my monitor, hard drive, and valuables. Left a decoy pillow on the bed. Then I stayed at a friend's for the night. I didn't text. Didn't leave a note. I waited for the final booking to go through. Because I wanted one last piece of proof. A final guest. A final payment. Then I was going to burn the whole setup down. Quietly. Officially. And she wasn't going to see it coming. The next guest was scheduled to arrive Friday night. 2 nights after I got back, 1 night after I left without a word. She didn't even text me to ask where I went. She probably thought I went back to my parents. Or maybe she hoped I did. The Airbnb listing stayed active. I refreshed the calendar every few hours. Friday 7 p.m., check-in confirmed. I waited. At 7:28, I got a notification. My Ring camera, the little one I kept on my windowsill, pointing at the front door, picked up movement. A woman. Early 30s. Luggage in hand. Knocking on the door. Kelsey answered. Big fake host smile. Motioned the woman in. Door closed. I gave it 1 hour. Then I opened Airbnb, found the guest, same first name as on the booking calendar, and messaged her directly using my burner Airbnb account I created 2 days earlier. Hi. You just checked into the unit on street name, right? I'm reaching out because you're staying in a private residence, specifically my bedroom, that's being illegally rented to you without my knowledge or consent. I'm really sorry this happened. You've done nothing wrong. But the person who listed this unit isn't the legal owner and didn't get permission. I can provide proof if you'd like. Just didn't want you caught off guard. I attached. Screenshot of the lease. Photos of my ID and name on the room's lease. A side-by-side comparison of her Airbnb room photo and my original room photo months earlier. A copy of the clause banning subletting. A list of names and dates of other guests who had unknowingly stayed in my room. She replied in under 10 minutes. OMG, seriously? I'm in your room? I thought this was a real Airbnb. Then I messaged Airbnb directly through their trust and safety portal. Flagged the listing for fraud, unauthorized rental, and lease violation. Attached everything. Documents, lease, room photos, screenshots of reviews. Then I emailed the landlord. Subject. Urgent, repeated lease violation, unauthorized Airbnb subletting. Hi, landlord's name. I've discovered that my roommate, Kelsey, has been renting out my private bedroom for profit while I was out of town, without my permission and in violation of our lease. She's hosted multiple guests over the past 2 months, as evidenced by this Airbnb listing, linked below. The current guest staying in my room tonight has been notified. I've also filed a complaint with Airbnb and have attached screenshots, booking records, and photos. Please let me know how you'd like to proceed. I will be moving out effective immediately. 10 minutes later. Airbnb responded. Listing was suspended pending investigation. 25 minutes after that. Landlord replied. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. This is a clear breach of the lease. She will be served a written notice for violation and has 30 days to vacate. You are released from your portion of the lease effective immediately. I didn't smile. Didn't gloat. Just forwarded the email to my personal inbox, closed my laptop, and went back to packing. The guest messaged me again the next morning. She told me you were a previous tenant who left your furniture. I feel so gross right now. I'm going to find a hotel. Thank you again for telling me. Then she added, I left her a 1-star review before the listing disappeared. I didn't reply. Didn't need to. I came back on Monday during the day. Kelsey was at work. I brought 3 friends, some empty boxes, and a checklist. Took everything. My clothes, my monitor, my books, my desk, my chair, even my extra towels. I didn't touch her room. Didn't move a single thing that wasn't mine. I just wiped down the surfaces I'd used, locked the door behind me, and left the keys in an envelope with one line written on the front. Next time you steal a room, don't do it in writing. 2 weeks later, I got a message from her. Some panic paragraph about the landlord threatening legal action, asking me to retract the Airbnb report, saying she didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't answer. Didn't even open the message fully. Just archived it. Then I blocked her number. She tried texting from a different number the next week. Then she emailed. Then she messaged me on Venmo with a as the subject line. Still didn't reply. Because if someone can rent your bed to a stranger while pretending you don't exist, they don't deserve a conversation. They deserve consequences. And I gave her exactly that. Not by screaming. Not by posting. By writing 3 emails. With attachments.